engaged.
Yeah, I am. I'm very, very happy.
And are you excited for like wedding and stuff?
I am. I couldn't be more excited. I just have never really felt so sure about something. And I also don't want to jinx it by saying that.
They're getting married at a private estate in Montecito.
It's so hard to lie to her because all I want to do is tell her the truth.
We have in mind, first we're not invited.
Selena Gomez is ready for her dream wedding, but word on the street is Benny Blanco isn't pulling his weight. Her own friends are whispering that he's acting lazy, and it's sparking serious tension between them. And the headlines aren't helping either. Reports are calling it wedding jitters, hinting that Selena's big day is looking shaky because Benny isn't stepping up. Some people are even saying her friends waited until the last minute to warn her that maybe Benny isn't the one. If that's true, why speak up now, right when the wedding's around the corner? Here's what we do know. Selena and Benny are officially counting down the days until their I-dos. Both already had their bachelor and bachelorette parties, but let me tell you, they couldn't have been more different. Selena was living it up in Cabo San Lucas, cruising on a yacht, soaking up the sun and having the time of her life. Meanwhile, Benny, he refused to get on a plane and drove all the way to Vegas instead. And his big bachelor turn-up? A sauna hangout with about 25 dudes. I mean, come on, who wouldn't choose a yacht in Mexico over sweating it out in Vegas with a bunch of guys? Selena's trip looked like a movie, and she seemed to be glowing the whole time.
Selena Gomez fans have noticed that there was no sign of Nicola Peltz at her bachelorette. Living for these photos, Selena has headed on her bachelorette with a group of girls. She shared some photos from Mexico, but amid claims that these two have not spoken for months, Nicola Peltz was nowhere to be seen. Obviously, Nicola and Selena had spent a lot of time together before this. In 2023, Selena joked that they were a throuple, but reports say she has now turned her back on Brooklyn and Nicola, that they are no longer friends. Selena wasn't at Nicola and Brooklyn's vow renewal earlier this month, and now it looks like she's returned the favour and not invited Nicola to her bachelorette. Nicola hasn't liked or commented on Selena's posts. Instead, she took to Instagram to share that she was enjoying a low-key date with her husband, Brooklyn. Apparently, Selena thinks Nicola is an attention seeker and told mutual friends of the pair negative things about the singer. This obviously comes as Nicola and Brooklyn are in a feud with Brooklyn's parents, David and Victoria. I guess we'll just have to wait and see, won't we? Will they be at the wedding? That will be the biggest telltale sign that there has been a fallout. Meanwhile, Selena looked like she was having the time of her life, surrounded by pals on her bachelorette.
But here's the messy part. Did her friends pull her aside during that yacht trip to drop some tea? Were they hinting that Benny just doesn't match her lifestyle? Because let's be real, Selena travels non-stop for her career, hopping from country to country like it's nothing. And Benny's fear of flying? That's a major problem waiting to happen. Long-distance vibes in a marriage? That's shaky ground already.
How do you act? She asked me out.
What?
It was crazy. And I didn't even realize we were on a date. And she was like, well, if this, I would have worn something different to this date. And I was like, wait, what? We're on a date? I had no idea.
She said that?
No idea we were on the...
So here's the twist. Benny's fear of flying isn't the only thing raising eyebrows. He's been telling Selena, this is your wedding first, ours second. Basically saying he doesn't care how it looks. He just wants to marry her. At first, that sounds sweet, like a whatever you want, babe type of vibe. But let's be real. You do want your man to care too. On the surface, it feels romantic. Benny's just grateful Selena even said yes to him. He's letting her pick everything, from the flowers to the music, because he's just happy she'll be his bride. But behind the curtain, it looks a little too much like laziness. Word is, he's been hands-off the entire time, and even some of Selena's friends are calling him out. And this is where it gets messy. Selena can be indecisive, like stressing over whether she wants white flowers or off-white flowers. But instead of helping, Benny's shrugging it off. He keeps framing it like, Selena baby, do whatever you want. But deep down, it's not because he's supportive. It's because he doesn't want to lift a finger. And the friends, they're roasting him. One even joked, wait, the guy who's famous for not showering is being called lazy now? You're just figuring that out? That's harsh.
I do a thing where I also don't believe in always shampooing your hair or conditioning your hair. I also don't. I'm really clean, but I don't shower every day. But some people I know shower 2-3 times a day. But I feel like the oils on your skin don't have time to rejuvenate and get juicy. I want there to be an aroma as I'm walking by. I want it to smell a little bit like man, a little bit feminine, a little I definitely lean, I think, a little more feminine than in every sense.
Insiders are whispering that Selena's starting to feel the weight of it all. She wants Benny to step up and actually make some choices. Their relationship isn't crashing, but everyone close to them can see the pattern. This is who Benny is, and he's not changing. And the scary part, that same dynamic could follow them into marriage. What's quirky now might not be so cute years from now. Red flag alert. Another insider says Selena and Benny have been dragging their feet on wedding planning. blaming their busy schedules. But here's the kicker. The wedding was supposed to be a massive 3-day celebration, and now it's been cut down to just 2. Honestly, good call. Your wedding isn't supposed to look like Coachella.
And you're engaged.
Yeah, I am. I'm very, very happy.
And are you excited for like wedding and stuff?
I am. I couldn't be more excited. It's just, there's so much kind of happening in the moment with, he's working on some projects that he has to wrap up, things we want to finish, and our own personal endeavors before we get into all the nitty gritty. But yeah, I don't know. I'm really, I just have never really felt so sure about something. And I also don't want to jinx it by saying that.
I feel the same way about things. Superstitious person.
A little bit. I don't like to admit it, but a little bit.
Because you don't like to admit it, because then it's like superstitious.
I know.
Yes, yeah. I'm the same exact way.
But here's what's raising eyebrows. Benny's Vide. People are whispering that he's already checked out of the relationship. Could he be one of those guys who comes in hot, love bombs at the start, and then cools off once he's locked it down? Remember, this man proposed with a $1 million ring and set up a whole staged picnic, complete with Taco Bell. If he can pull off all that for the proposal, then where's that same energy for the wedding planning?
It's so hard to lie to her because all I want to do is tell her the truth. That's why it was so hard to ask her to marry me, because you have to like come up with this whole, like right before you get engaged, you're like, how good are you at lying? And I had to like come up with this whole elaborate plan. And the day I was going to do it, she was so upset with me because I was lying and I was trying to keep up with the lies. Keeping up with lies is insane. I don't know how anyone does it. Don't lie, guys.
Now let's talk about the guest list. It's about to be a Hollywood roll call. Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce are reportedly locked in. And word is, Selena even scheduled her dates to make sure her bestie could attend. Brooklyn Beckham and Nicola Peltz, they'll be there too. And you already know the Beckham family always brings drama.
Now in other huge news, of course, Selena was engaged.
Yes.
So are you guys busy planning speeches?
we have in mind, first we're not invited. But we are,
let's say we were invited.
we are going to parachute in with hand mics and do something. Yeah.
In agreement, Monty?
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm doing a medley that again of songs that weren't nominated, but again haven't been asked.
Yeah.
What can you imagine, Selena, would be the perfect wedding gift from these two? Just to give them some hints.
Oh yeah, what do you want, buddy?
No, I think
Here's what you
Just trying to help a girl.
What do you need?
nothing.
Yeah.
It is.
I have the perfect wedding gift, and we're going to give it to them together.
Is that true?
Yep.
I was going to ask you because you have a salt and pepper shaker, right?
Yeah. Well, this is the gift, honestly.
Yeah, keeps on giving.
Yes.
Then there's the big names. Ed Sheeran's confirmed. Justin Bieber might make jaws drop if he shows up. And fans are speculating about Beyoncé and Lady Gaga possibly sliding in as well. Can you imagine that lineup under one roof? And don't forget Selena's own crew from Only Murders in the Building. They're expected to show support too. By the way, people keep asking, is that show scary? Like, it's about murders, but it's actually a mix of mystery and comedy. Either way, the wedding guest list is looking like its own blockbuster event, maybe even more dramatic than the vows themselves. So here's something wild. Apparently, even the guests don't know where Selena and Benny's wedding is going down. That's right, they're keeping the venue top secret until the very last minute. Word is, invites won't reveal the location until the actual day, all to keep paparazzi, drones, and nosy fans from crashing the party. Insiders are whispering it'll be somewhere around Montecito or the Santa Barbara area, but no one knows exactly where. And honestly, can you imagine flying out for a wedding and not even knowing the address until the morning of? Talk about anxiety. TMZ's Harvey Levin even tried to play detective, speculating about possible venues.
Selena Gomez and Benny Blanco are getting married later this month. There are all sorts of places they could get married in Montecito. One of the most famous, the Rosewood is fantastic.
Right, people to get married.
They're not getting married at either of these places.
No way.
Nope, I found out. That's what my phone call was.
Just now.
They're not getting married at a hotel. They're getting married at a private estate in Montecito. And the reason I'm not shocked is you got to assume Taylor Swift is going to be there.
I mean, true.
And it's easier to control a situation like that.
Do you think she would do this all just for glitter, though?
Taylor changes the game.
I guess so.
Taylor changes the game. And, the more I thought about it in the last 3 minutes, it kind of makes sense because people will go crazy to get pictures.
But here's where it gets funny. When Selena marries Benny, she technically becomes Selena Levin. That's the same last name as Harvey. So, Picture this: Selena Levin, Benny Levin, Harvey Levin. What are the odds? And if you think about it, an estate makes the most sense. Some huge property with a mile-long driveway to block out photographers. Private, exclusive, and impossible for paparazzi to sneak into. But here's the kicker. While everyone's buzzing about the wedding, Selena and Benny were not at this year's MTV VMAs, even though they dropped a joint album, I Said I Love You First, which could have easily snagged a nomination. Some fans already moved on, but I'll be real, I think that album deserved more love than it got. So between a secret location, Harvey Levin name jokes, and skipping out on the VMAs, this wedding is already shaping up to be one of Hollywood's most unpredictable events.
Now you're planning the wedding, and I'm sure the music's going to be amazing.
Well, yeah, I'll definitely. We're definitely not planning exactly at this moment, but we do want to make sure that the music's good, and I'm gonna let that be his job.
Skipping the VMAs wasn't on their minds. They're locked in on wedding prep. Plus, let's be real, Benny's fear of flying plays a role here too. To get from California to New York, he'd have to drive cross-country, or maybe even take a train. Imagine that, Benny rolling into the VMAs on Amtrak while Selena's front row. Cute idea, but it's not happening. Now here's where it gets really interesting. Selena recently revealed on the Therapist podcast that she first met Benny when she was just 16 years old. They were supposed to collab on music back then, but it never happened because the timing wasn't right. Crazy to think she's known her future husband since she was a teenager. Back then, Benny was nothing more than an acquaintance. Selena admitted, I wasn't like besties with him. I thought he was nice. They eventually worked on a few tracks, including Same Old Love. And while the studio vibes were fun, romance was nowhere on the table. And honestly, you can tell Selena just wasn't into him during her teens or even in her early 20s. She paints it like he was just there. And I get it, Benny's not exactly everyone's cup of tea. Even fans admit it took a while to warm up to him. Selena herself confessed she just wasn't ready for what their story would turn into back then.
Oh, insane. When we first started going out on dates, she used to pull up to my house minimum 20 minutes early, maybe 30 minutes early.
So true.
And she would wait outside, but she didn't realize that my cameras could see like down the street, and her car would just be parked outside for like 30 minutes. And she would just wait until it was time to come in.
Sometimes you meet the right person at the wrong time, and later, life flips the script. Now, she says she's in that place, ready to embrace the love she once overlooked. It really is all about timing. When Selena and Benny finally teamed up on the track Soon, the stars lined up. Even if it wasn't their strongest collab musically, both of them admitted it was pure fun to work on together. But let's switch gears, because TikTok just threw us a curveball. A random clip popped up of Selena with an adorable dog, and the internet went wild.
What? What's wrong, buddy?
People in the comments were ruthless, asking, why is Selena ignoring him? And even clowning the dog by saying it looks just like Benny. Another user came after Selena directly, telling her, take care of your hair. Like, really? Fans stay messy in those comments. Turns out the pup is their new puppy. And honestly, it's super cute. But here's the thing. Fans started speculating. Is this just a warm-up for Selena and Benny testing the waters before having a baby together? Because that's how people are framing it. And let me just say this. I can't stand when celebrities rehome their pets after a few months. It's giving Kim Kardashian pet drama, and it's not a good look. So let's hope Selena and Benny keep this little one in the family for good. Now here's where things take a wild turn. Reports are surfacing about Selena's mom, Mandy, and they're explosive. Allegedly, former employees from Wondermind, the mental health company Selena co-founded with her mom, are spilling tea. First, workers claimed they weren't even getting paid. Then, Mandy supposedly had to take out a loan against her house just to keep the business afloat. And now, new accusations are floating around, with insiders saying Mandy was caught up in behavior that has people absolutely stunned. Snorting Ritalin at work? That's the wild claim shaking up Selena's mom, Mandy, and her company Wondermind. The mental health startup, launched in 2021 to provide resources and support, is now drowning in controversy. On September 3rd, New York Magazine's The Cut dropped a bombshell report digging into Mandy's leadership. And the findings? Messy doesn't even cover it. According to the article, Wondermind laid off 9 of its 15 employees back in May. But the real jaw-dropper came from an anonymous former staffer who swore he saw Mandy in her West Hollywood office, snorting what he believed was Ritalin. That's not just drama, that's a scandal. When confronted, Mandy flat out denied it, saying absolutely not. She blasted the claims as lies from disgruntled employees with an axe to grind. But here's the thing. Why would someone make up something so specific? Ritalin, of all things. That detail alone has people raising eyebrows. For context, Ritalin is a stimulant often prescribed for ADHD. Mandy insists the story is nothing more than exaggeration, but the whispers aren't stopping. And let's not forget, Forbes already reported earlier this year that Mandy told staff she had to take out a loan against her own home just to pay off Wondermind's debts. That included unpaid salaries. Imagine clocking in 40 hours a week, grinding for a mental health company, and then not seeing a paycheck. People said they were out here working for free. If that happened to me, I'd be outside that office with a picket sign and a torch, caveman mode activated. Selena has poured millions into Wondermind over the years to back her mom and their shared passion for mental health. But now, people are saying she might as well ask for a refund. The company looks like it's sinking fast, and instead of Selena bailing it out, Mandy reportedly stepped in with a personal loan to keep the lights on. But here's the head scratcher. How is your daughter a billionaire and you're out here scrambling with petty loans just to save the brand? It doesn't add up. And honestly, what even is Wondermind doing? They say it's about mental health resources, but if you need help, most people just go straight to a therapist. Why take an extra third-party step that feels more like a middleman than real support? To critics, the whole thing looks less like a groundbreaking company and more like an expensive blog with glossy branding. And some folks are whispering, if they're not finessing the tax game with these loans, then what's even the point? Because to the outside world, it's messy, it's confusing, and it feels like a financial black hole. And the comments? They're wild. One person brushed it off saying, sounds like a bunch of ticked off ex-employees, move on. But then James jumped in with a cryptic line. We know the truth, Mandy. Hold up, we know the truth? That sounds more like a threat than a defense. This whole saga is messy from top to bottom, and it's far from over. For more daily celeb scandals and juicy drama, make sure you hit subscribe to Wisp Zone and drop your thoughts in the comments because I need to know what you think.